Welcome, welcome. It's the third episode, third edition. However you want to slice up the pie is fine. Knicks Talk. If nothing else, please make sure to subscribe, like the videos. Mitch I am on YouTube. Couple of topic points for this one today. The Mikal Bridges extension rumors that could take place as early as this fall, October 1st. Summer League underway. Knicks have played 3 of their 4 games. Talking Summer League vibes, who has stood out in what manner. I was going to start Bridges, but let's actually start with Summer League for the Knicks. Picked up their first win. Of course, you don't really care about teams' wins and losses. I guess if you want to see more of the Knicks, advance to that semifinal and then potentially a final, they would need to win more. But a 1-2 start's not going to get that done. Summer League is more individually based. Now, you want to see how guys play with one another and how they gel with potential teammates on the court. But this is a showcase, a platform for these rookies, second-year guys, some even in their third, fourth, fifth years, to audition for the jersey they're wearing, the team that's on it, and potentially other teams as well. And the Knicks had 4 draft picks. 3 have played in Summer League so far. Kevin McCullough out with injury, the late second-round pick out of Kansas. Let's start with the positive. And for me, it starts with Tyler Kolek. Second-round pick out of Marquette, point guard. Jalen Brunson's your PG1, but you're going to need some backup minutes. Do the Knicks give those to Deuce McBride? Do they view him as off-ball, more of a 2? And so you'd still need someone to run that second unit, maybe 8, 10 to 12 minutes a game. Tyler Kolek getting a chance in Summer League to prove what he's got. First 2 games in Summer League, 0 turnovers. He played about 30 minutes in each game, 0 turnovers. Against the Kings, brought out more of the offensive side. I think finished with 3 turnovers, but had 21 points, 8 assists, and a game-winning 3-point play. Tyler Kolek has such composure, and I know it's Summer League, but it's exactly what we saw at Marquette, and that is a point guard who orchestrates, facilitates, sets up teammates, can be a playmaker for others. He is not a shoot-first guy, drags a defense in just long enough to draw more eyeballs and then find the open teammate in the snap of a finger. In the game against the Kings, we saw 8 assists, but we also saw 21 points, 3 of 5 from downtown in the game-winning 3-point play on an ATO. A little pick was set, a little handoff pick. Kolek took it strong, left hand, strong hand, drew the contact, put it in, made the free throw, game blouses. You beat Sacramento, you get your first win in Vegas. He's so crafty around the rim, and we saw that in that final play that helped the Knicks beat Sacramento. I'd love to see him continue to improve his ability from beyond the arc shooting, his 3-point ability, not exactly a strength of his. Believe he went 3 for 5, though, against the Kings. That's another layer of the onion I'd like to see him peel back in his game. The composure's there. He's always so calm. He's a perfect director for an offense. We saw it in the Big East. You're seeing it here in Vegas at Summer League. And when Rokas came in, Rokas Jokubaitis, Kolek would play off ball a little bit. Again, not a strength of his, but willing to just say, hey, you know what? You can run the show a little bit. I'm comfortable. I'm good. I'll do whatever it takes. I'll set a screen. I'll grab a rebound. I'll dish a dime. I'll take a shot here and there. I'll drive to the paint. His craftiness is something I can't talk about enough. And you want to see it translate to the NBA because it's one of the things he does best. And how he just always looks like he's in control. He's dictating what's going to happen for himself and his 4 other teammates on the floor. And the defense is just going to have to try to react as best as they can. Knicks went out and signed Campaign, veteran point guard. Don't necessarily know what it means for the backup point guard spot behind Brunson. Someone's going to have to do it, right? Could be Deuce, could be Kolek. Don't know if Rokas is going to stay over or not, or what his short-term and long-term plans are. And now you bring in Campaign. But I think there was a thought that Kolek could chew up some of those potential minutes as early as this year, and the campaign signing might foggy that just a little bit. So we don't know what that looks like, but Tyler Kolek's hooping, and we saw that against Sacramento. You saw it the first two games too. I mean, the guy played 60 minutes in the first two Summer League games, 60 of a possible, 80? Yeah, 10-minute quarters, and he had 0 turnovers. And he was the main PG1 for the Knicks Summer League team, 0 turnovers in 60 minutes of play, and just 3 against Sacramento. I'm assuming he played around 30 minutes against the Kings. So you're talking about around 90 minutes, 3 turnovers. It's pretty dang good. And then you saw the offense on display just a little bit more with 21 points against Sacramento. The aforementioned Rokas, Jokubaitis, so far in 3 games kind of had, I don't want to say a no-show, but a very quiet game, kind of like a okay game. Then he had a all right game, and he showed out against Sacramento too. I believe he was 6 of 6 from the floor, knocked down a couple of three-pointers, had a beautiful defensive play. Kings forward was in the mid-post outside of the paint, back away from the basket, was kind of combing over his options on the floor. Rokas snuck up behind him, stripped the ball, grabbed the ball, fast break, dunk, easy 2 points. The more the merrier. I don't think there's such thing as having too many options if you're the Knicks, if you're anyone else. Because right now you're like, Brunson's getting the bulk of those point guard minutes, but who's going to be the backup? And the obvious answer would be Deuce, but the Knicks might be smitten on having him more of an off-ball guard than a key facilitator, maestro, ball-dominant guy with the second unit. And so it opens up, again, that platform for a campaign, a Kolek, or a Rokas, potentially. If he plans on staying over with the Knicks or not, or going back to Europe, we don't know. But that was by far his best performance. Kolek and Rokas both had their best performances against the Kings. And Rokas showed some of those flashes that you've seen on highlights, mini highlights over in Europe. So I thought those two stood out. Pacome Dadier had a real quiet game, 1 for 4 against Sacramento. The one thing I'll say about Dadier, first-round pick for the Knicks, I love his mindset. I absolutely love his mindset. Outside of the Sacramento game, because he only had 4 shot attempts against the Kings, he's just hucking. Like he is catching, shooting, off the dribble, catch and shoot. And he should be. It's Summer League. Very raw talent for Dadier in a lot of aspects of his game, but he's very fluid in his movements on offense, especially when he has the ball. Very carefree style of play. I wouldn't call it reckless. I would say it's fearless with Dadier. Dude's only 18 years old, and you don't know what his immediate future looks like. You would imagine it'd be really, really tough for him to crack the rotation this year as a rookie. But it's Summer League. You were the first-round pick by the Knicks. You're 18 years old. He has been fearless 2 out of the 3 games in Summer League offensively. He's taken his shots. And has it been pretty all the time for Dadier? No, it hasn't. Saw him airball a couple of threes against the Nets. Didn't shake him, didn't rattle him, just kept shooting. And he's one of the guys you want to see that from. I love the mindset for what he's trying to do, and that is stand out in any way possible for the Knicks brass and attendance and those, of course, watching on TV. And he's had a couple of plays where you're like, there's some real untapped potential there with Dadier. And, obviously he puts the Summer League jersey aside and puts the real Knicks jersey on this year. And some of the things he's doing in Summer League you wouldn't want to see, right, in the regular season as far as just catch, shoot, kind of taking that mindset of, hey, I'm going to get my shots up and try to prove my worth. Because that wouldn't be his role if he has a spot in this rotation for the Knicks, which, again, I don't right now see happening, but it's Summer League. First-round pick. Do it to it, man. First-round pick. That's what you're supposed to do. Summer League is a platform for players like Dadier to get their shots up and make noise in any capacity. Now, I will draw the line on, I'll say it was frustrating watching Dwayne Washington Jr., 6 of 18 against the Kings, 0 of 7 from 3. The second to last possession, the Knicks had plenty of time to get a shot up. He took like a 28-footer, not in rhythm. He had that. The announcer said before he shot it, they're like, oh, Dwayne Washington's putting this shot up. Former Timberwolves head coach Sam Mitchell was the color commentator. And he's like, oh, Washington's putting this shot up. He's got that look in his eye. And then during the following timeout, there was a timeout after the Kings hit a shot, and then the Knicks had their last look, which was the Kolek game winner on the three-point play. And Sam Mitchell said, you could see Washington was going to shoot it no matter what. Doesn't mean it was a good shot. He's like, it wasn't a good shot. And there's guys like that where, those final sequences, final couple minutes, Dwayne Washington's not going to have a spot on the Knicks in the future, a prominent spot. That's a guy who's going to try to grind out one of those last roster spots. He's not going to be a part of the rotation. I get what the Knicks are doing. I would have rather had seen Rokas and Kolek out there those last couple minutes. Now, Kolek was, but I would have rather had seen Rokas instead of Dwayne Washington because there's an unknown with Rokas. You don't know completely what you have. Dwayne Washington's been in the league a few years. He's hopped around a little bit. You know what you got in Dwayne Washington. And some of the shots he was taking and I know it's Summer League, and I just mentioned Dadier. And Dadier is a guy you want to see him shoot. You want to see that fearlessness. But he was a first-round pick. Washington wasn't. Dadier is a rookie. He's 18 years old. You want to see him sort of play carefree. Washington, you'd like to see maybe more within the confines of whatever the offense is in Summer League. And so for me personally, he was kind of a frustrating one to watch for the Knicks, especially in that game against Sacramento. But all is well. There's positives to look at with Kolek. I think Dadier's mindset and Rokas really showed out against Sacramento too. It's Knicks Chat. Mitch I am. Please, if anything, just click subscribe to the channel. Like the videos. Appreciate the support as always. Just getting this thing fired up. Mikal Bridges. We pivot to Mikal Bridges. And the question, is he really about to take a team-friendly discount on his next deal? And for Knicks fans, as if Jalen Brunson's extension didn't already have Knicks fans extremely giddy. Per Mark Stein, and I believe on his Substack page, he reported a few days ago that Mikal Bridges might do the same thing Jalen Brunson just did. When I saw that, we already knew it obviously with Brunson. When I first saw it, I was like, these dudes really just want to win. These dudes flat out, they just want to win. And sure, down the road in a few years, it would put them both in line to really bank in, but don't let that fog the reality of what's taking place right now if Bridges does this in the fall. These guys, and it's not just Brunson and Bridges, but as it pertains to contracts with Brunson and potentially Bridges, these guys are all in. They want to bring a title to New York, at least one, and they want to expand this championship window. Bunch of guys who are in their prime. Brunson's in his prime right now. Bridges in his prime. DiVincenzo in his prime. Julius Randle's in his prime. Mitchell Robinson in his prime. When you look at how long they've been in the league, where they're at, they're right in that sweet spot. Next, 4 or 5 years. And Brunson and Bridges doing this, well, Bridges potentially is going to provide this team with financial flexibility to hopefully make more splash moves down the road and extend that championship window. Because while they're really in their prime for the next 4 or 5 years, they're, barring crazy injuries, guys like Hart, DiVincenzo, Brunson, Bridges, Randle, Mitchell Robinson, OG Anunoby, of course, they're all in their mid to late 20s. They're going to be around for the next, in the league, 7, 8, 9 years, whatever it might be. Maybe even a little longer than that for the guys who are 26, 27. And Brunson doing this, they're trying to stretch out that championship window, but also attack right now. And it's one thing, like when I was reading the Bridges report and, the rumors of Brunson doing it were swirling, and I said, man, if they weren't true, you think someone in Brunson's camp would have shut it down and been like, no, we're going to go over options, whatever. The fact that the rumors were swirling like, hey, Brunson's going to take a deal that's $113 million cheaper than what he could get if he waits until next summer to sign on the dotted line, it just made you think like, okay, this must have some truth to it. There must be some teeth to this because no one's shutting down the rumors in Brunson's camp. And to me, it's one thing to say it, but now you have Brunson and potentially Bridges proving it through actions, and more specifically, these contracts. Like Brunson went 4 years, $156 million, instead of waiting until next summer to ink a 5-year, $269 million deal. 4 years, $156 instead of 5, $269. It's crazy. Bridges could wait until next summer and go the 4-year, I think it's $156 million route, or he can go, I believe it starts October 1st. He's extension eligible to go like 2 years around, like a little over $70 million, something around there. It's unprecedented what's taking place with Brunson's contract extension and the unselfishness, and now potentially Bridges doing the same thing. And I mentioned this last week. We've seen it before in the NFL with Tom Brady, Patrick Mahomes. Patrick Mahomes has a big boy deal, big boy contract with the Chiefs. But he's finagled it in a way where they do have some relief, some flexibility to add some pieces here and there. Like who'd they just add this offseason? Hollywood Brown, I believe. Dynamic wide receiver, a speedster. And his contract is providing Kansas City those sorts of opportunities. But it's unprecedented because this is one for sure and potentially two players in the NBA, not the NFL, not Major League Baseball where there's no salary cap. You're talking about two guys in their prime in the NBA where there's a new CBA, which how it's unraveling, how it's playing out, this new CBA, it's making it tough to build teams with numerous superstars. And you've got Brunson and Bridges basically saying like, hey, here's our loophole to this. And it's not even a loophole. It's just a flat out, we're going to extend. It's going to be super cheap. We know that. We can bank in later in a few years heavier. We understand that. Brunson, his is done. Bridges, sounds like it's going down that same path. It's incredibly unselfish and just so hyper team focused and hyper team oriented to do what they're doing. I know someone brought up the question like, will this become a trend? I don't know. I'd lean towards saying I doubt it. And you can't blame players for securing their bags and cashing in on the opportunities when they present themselves. The Brunson rumors were going around, and I had said, look, if it turns out not to be true and he waits till next summer and goes 5 years, what was it, 5 years, $269 million, no one's going to blame him. Everyone's going to be like, hey, thank goodness we still have Brunson for the long run. But he took the team-friendly contract extension. Now it sounds like Bridges is going down that path. Does it become a trend? I doubt it. I think there's too many guys who are going to say, this is my opportunity to sort of pounce. Like, look at Isaiah Hartenstein. He could have taken the Knicks offered him what they could. The Knicks offered Isaiah Hartenstein every penny they could possibly offer him. And he's also said, hey, you know what? Oklahoma City's offering a lot more, like too much to pass up. No one blames iHeart for that, or at least they shouldn't. If they are, don't listen to them. They're stupid, right? Like, no one should be blaming Isaiah Hartenstein for doing that. He's coming off a 2-year deal with the Knicks that was it less than $20 million, right? And now Oklahoma City was a 3 for $90 or whatever the deal was with the Thunder. You have to take it in most situations. And so I don't think this becomes a trend. I think this is a true outlier situation. I should say I don't think it becomes a trend in the NBA. I think this is a true outlier situation where you have two guys who are just being incredibly unselfish, or at least one for sure, and now it sounds like another. And it's going to provide the Knicks a lot of flexibility in the next few years to make a couple more splash moves and really bulk things up as if they haven't already. I mean, you look at this starting five. Who doesn't love this starting five entering next year? But now with what Brunson's doing and potentially Bridges as early as October 1st, I believe, is when he could sign a new extension. It's incredible, and it is unprecedented, especially two guys doing it on the same team when they could have just gotten the bag now or next summer and no one would have blamed them. So we'll keep tabs on that, but I think for the first time in a long time, you can safely say, you know what, it's a real good time to be a New York Knicks fan. It is. It's a real good time to be a New York Knicks fan. One more Summer League game left. We'll see how the rest of the offseason pans out. Knicks obviously pretty well locked up. I believe 13 guys on the roster as of now, but who knows? They seem to strike with a move when you least expect it. Again, make sure to like, subscribe. We'll see you next time.